Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here on this Sunday night, the Sunday before Mother's Day.
That's next week.
I know, don't worry.
Oh, you're not my mother.
That's right.
That's right. Hi, everybody. We are delighted to see you here, Mike and Jennifer Wendland, and this is Ask Us Anything. What a beautiful day, huh?
Oh, great day. Beautiful day.
80s. I think it's been 80s over much of the country, and we are back from many weeks of traveling, and I don't know how long we're going to be. We're in Michigan, and we will probably be here a few weeks. I've got some writing assignments to do, and we got some repairs from last week. We haven't told them about that.
Well, you sure you want to share?
Well, I share everything with them. Maybe I won't share.
Sure you want to share?
Yeah, I'm not going to share. If they want to know about it, they'll ask, okay? We won't tell them because it's
too embarrassing.
Like everything else, it's kind of embarrassing.
Operator error.
But right away, we want to welcome two new members. First of all, Deborah Wright became a new member on YouTube. She hit that little join button over there on YouTube and is one of our supporters. Deborah, you can now go to that our supporter meetup on the Mississippi in October. Welcome. So glad to have you. Thank you for supporting us. That's a big thing. Also, Mary Brown became a YouTube member, and we are thrilled to have Mary. Thank you, Mary. And check out our gathering. We only have, I think, 8 spots left for our meetup on the Mississippi. And that's only for members and supporters, but we'll tell you more about that in a little bit. How you can be a member or supporter. We'll give you a link to that in a bit and let you know, because that's kind of fun. And it's neat. There it is right there. rvlifestyle.com/members. You can be a member, a supporter on Facebook, or you can be one on YouTube. But enough about all that stuff. We can come to that with other things. Let's first bring in our content manager. We need to have a great title for you. Chief Wizard of the RV Lifestyle, Phyllis Carr, joins us from Iowa. Hello.
Chief Wizard.
Yeah, let's just call her Chief Wizard. Do you see that? She's sunburned. Can you see that?
I'm sunburned. I was out at the lake with my grandson and forgot that, when you're in the sun, you need to put some sunscreen on. It feels like it's been a really long time since I've had to do that. So it was great being out.
That is great. Well, this is Ask Us Anything, and we always want to kind of go through. There's always new people watching. Mm-hmm. Some are watching us on YouTube. Some are watching us on Facebook. We're streaming to a Facebook group, a Facebook page, and our supporter page on Facebook, and on YouTube, of course, our YouTube channel. How do they ask questions? Give them a couple of tips there.
Sure. So the best thing to do is if you have a question, do it like people have already started to do. Type the word question in all caps so we can see it, because we see a lot of things coming in, and then ask your question. Please only ask it once, and that would be very helpful. If you're on Facebook, just be patient, because what Mike and Jennifer see is a aggregate of all the things from all the places on Facebook and YouTube, and they're kind of lined up. So we'll eventually get to your question. So hang in there. And that's the most important thing, is just to be patient. And also, if you're in the group on Facebook, you have to give StreamYard, which is the thing that the Wendlands are using, permission to use your name. Otherwise, just go to the Facebook page and we'll see your name. So it's all good.
That is great. All right. Well, Phyllis is going to help us. She's going to wrangle all the questions and help us with that. We'll check in with you at the end. We also want to give a shout out over on YouTube. Doing the same thing is Chris Cowley, and Chris is our video editor. And a round of applause to Chris for really a great job on this week's video of the Natchez Trace. It's our part 2. We did Natchez, the city, last week. We did the first I think 259 miles of the Trace, and we have a 5-part series coming on that. Some of you said take longer, show us everything, so we're gonna, and I hope you've all had a chance to see that video. All right, so let's start with some questions, and we'll have some fun. The first one is up from Bradley Olson.
Have you ever had a vent cover hood over your fantastic fan on your LTV? Are they necessary?
Yes. In fact, every fantastic fan we've had has had a vent cover, and I take it you mean kind of like the dome. When we push one switch, the dome rises up, and then the fan has clear access to either suck in the air or push the air out. And it also has a rain sensor on it, so that if it starts to rain, the cover will automatically close. And we think they're essential. And when you do get one with the rain sensor, because that's important too. Most of the time, ours is up, and rain seems to always happen at night. One thing we've noticed though with that, have you noticed how if you're parked under a tree, if it's really humid, the condensation from the tree drips down, and sometimes the vent cover closes because it thinks it's raining. But good thing to have.
I think there's more to this question. I think we're missing something.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what other cover you would have, Bradley, other than that. But I think they all have that, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe you mean I don't know, because it's a big dome and nothing's going to get in. So I don't know. All right, Eric Miller.
Have you ever upgraded springs and sway bars to the chassis?
We've often thought about it on the Class B vans that we had, but we have not really thought too much about it. That little mishap that I said I had the other day will require my unit to be back in a shop in Elkhart in a couple of weeks. Not, I think 2 weeks yet, but I'm thinking, based on a couple of you here, Davis, Tandy, and Buster, 2 of our regulars, are always saying they are swearing by those Sumo springs. And so we may look into that, but we've never upgraded the springs. I think it rides pretty good.
Yeah, didn't you say Leisure added some kind of sway bar or something?
I think they did.
Was,
yeah, I think they told me that they
like
have
right before we got our first one.
Yep.
So it really helped.
Yeah, we noticed that it rides in the back much better than any of the road track Class Bs that we had. So we haven't felt the need to do that, but I'm going to look into Sumo springs. I'll let you know what we think of that.
Ask Bo how the ride is.
Yeah, we should ask Bo. Bo likes it back there. MG.
Okay, how many sets of Anderson leveling blocks do you recommend? Excuse me. So to maintain the level in a Wonder RV, they come 2 in a set. We're unsure how to factor in the real rear dualies. I can see why that's a little confusing.
Yeah, the ones we bought, now maybe they've gotten greedy and only give you 2, but the ones we go, I think, have 8, and it's in a little blue zip up bag, and it's a cube about yay big, and they have 8 of them. And that's always been sufficient to us in the vans that we had. So I would say that you want to have at least 8 of them. And with the dualies, you want, if you're going to put 2, you need to have 4 for the dualies, because there's, 4 tires there. So I think 8's about the minimum you should have.
So you really do have to put all 4 tires in the back have to be.
Yep. It's not good to have just one tire out and the other one's just hanging there. Put them under all of them. It's much more stable. Stephen Loy.
I'm watching you from McAllister State Park in Georgia. What an amazing place. Looking forward to meeting up in October.
Hey, Stephen, thank you very much. I've not been to McAllister State Park in Georgia, but we have done a lot of exploring in Georgia. We love that place.
Yeah.
There's some really nice parks there. Mountains up in the north and some fun things. We love the Roosevelt State Park. Make a note of that?
Yeah.
There we go. And thank you. We're looking forward to that Mississippi meetup with our supporters too. Going to be so much fun. So much fun. Mary Ann Bostain.
Is the garage storage on your Wonder rear twin bed as much as you need? I thought I heard you say that your bikes did not fit in there, if I'm remembering correctly.
No, they'll fit in there, but there's not a lot of room for all the other stuff we'd like to bring. I suppose we could. I've not really tried.
Wouldn't you have to take them apart a little bit?
Yeah, you have to take the 2, because the e-bikes are pretty big. You have to take the wheels off, and I think even either lower the seat or take the seat post out. But they'll both fit in there. but there's a lot of other stuff that we carry, like chairs, all my gear, and I don't know how much of that I could get in. But in general, the storage has been just great with that garage. We haven't gone wanting for storage room, I don't think, with it at all, have we?
You really packed that thing.
I did pack it. Well, I didn't pack it right though, because this last trip I just kind of threw stuff in, and I really should take it all out and be really strategic about what I put in and what I don't. We haven't been taking the e-bikes a lot because of our dog, who's right behind us right now. Do you notice how attached he is to us today?
I know.
I think traveling in an RV, he just feels he has to be 2 feet from us at every minute. So,
Well, I think he is so bonded. If we leave him, he's going to have a really rough time.
yeah, I've got to do a Camping World video shoot, and I don't know whether I should take him or not. Look at that. Another YouTube member from Corey Collins. Thank you, Corey. This is so great. Our member supporter stuff is it just thrills us when we see that. So thank you very much. And we're actually working for you members and supporters. We want to move all of it onto our RV Lifestyle website. We hope to do that relatively soon, within a couple of weeks. And that way everybody's in one place, but we're working on that. James Harris, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining. James Harris.
Okay. When at an RV park and hooked up to city water, do you keep your fresh tank full as backup in case there are problems with park water, or do you just keep the freshwater tank empty?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a very good question.
I try and keep it empty because I don't want the water to stagnate in there. We've not had a problem with that because we go, most of our camping is boondocking, and so we go through that freshwater tank pretty good. But if, for example, right now, we just got back Tuesday, and I just realized I probably got a 25-30% of water in there. So I want to go empty that. Especially when it's 80 degrees. We don't like to have that water. We want to go through it and exchange it quickly so it doesn't have a chance to get skunky, because water can get skunky.
It can get
So
nasty.
but if I'm hooked up to a RV park where they have water, there's no need, to do it. Now, what I will do is, okay. So last Monday night we were at the Horse Cave KOA in Horse Cave, Kentucky. By the way, that is just north of Mammoth Cave, or is it south? But it's right next to the way. Yeah. They have fixed that place up. It is awesome. They've got so many new sites in there. They've turned it, I think, into a holiday, one of their high-end ones. But what I'll do is I like to hook up water when I'm at a campground, because it makes the water pump makes noises, and we don't want to disturb people. It doesn't make terrible noise, but you can hear it.
You can hear it, and you want to be a good neighbor.
So we just hook up the water, and we like to shower in our rig, so we love to do that when we have city water.
And that was something about that campground, that KOA that we stayed
Oh,
at. They
my
had
goodness.
remodeled their bathrooms, so they had 10 individual bathrooms with shower, bathtub.
Best bathrooms I've ever seen in the KOA. Yeah. Individual, private, clean, neat.
Just freshly remodeled. And what a cute place. They had 3 covered wagons. Were there 3 covered wagons? And they're building 2 tree houses that you can rent. And it looks out on this nice valley where there used to be horses.
There still are. There are horses out there.
And then they have an area with a little barn, and there's turkey and ducks and chickens and, some cute little critters.
We put some pictures of that on our Instagram account the other day, and you can still find them if you go to follow us on Instagram. It's RV Lifestyle Mike on Instagram, and you can see them. But back to your question, James. So what I did then is, as we left, before I left, I would just use that water to fill up my freshwater tank. Now, I only needed a couple of days, so I filled it about half full, because there's no point in carrying all of that weight. So I filled it about half full, and it's about 8.5 pounds a gallon. I think that's what water weighs. So we try and not, I should ask Siri, because I get the numbers mixed up sometimes, but we try and not travel with a full tank of water, because it's just extra weight. And
when we're in the campground, we trust that they're not going to have any water problems, because that would be highly unusual.
Never have had a problem. We do really filter our water. And if you go to our gear page, you can see this new filter system that we've got that we use for campground water. And it does just a great job. It's a kind of a high-end filter system, but really great. Just go to rvlifestyle.com/gear, and you can see that filtering system. It's from Clear 2O is the name of it.
And you really do want to filter your water, because I know at our home, our well water, it's really filled with iron.
Yeah.
And
And as you
Use it
travel
once.
around, you're getting hard
Yeah.
water and soft water and sulfuric water. And so you want to have a good filter. But
yes.
hope that answered the question, James. Our friend Maureen Tweedley out there in British Columbia.
Okay. Just wanted to know if you see this message. I always find YouTube easier to use than Facebook on your live sessions.
We do see it.
We
Thank
see you.
Yep. Thank you for checking in. YouTube they both are good. YouTube is hard for me to stream just members only content, while as Facebook, we have a members only, people always get confused. We have a Facebook RV lifestyle group open to the public that has 50,000 members now. And then we have our supporters who are basically pay a little bit every month to help support us. And that's a Facebook group, and it's very easy to go live there. YouTube is cumbersome. So anyway, and then we have our members group over on YouTube. It's so confusing. We want to put all of them in one place, but I'm glad you found us, and hello to you, Maureen. A super chat from Steely Mommy.
Okay, when you had your Unity LTV, did you have a Hitch cargo carrier? Any particular type you would recommend?
We've had, not on that Unity, but we had the Hitch cargo carriers on our, did I carry it on YouTube?
Two.
We've had two of them, and they're both really good. They're expensive, the good ones. If you go to rvlifestyle.com, Steely, look up cargo carriers. Just go in my search, and you'll see my review on the two high-end ones we want. Why can't I remember the name of, but they're all on. I go on and look, and you'll see them. rvlifestyle.com. So we've had two of them. They're boxy. They're very heavy. They're awkward to get on and off, but you really can carry a lot extra stuff in them. With a B van, I really would recommend them. With the Unity, you don't have as much storage on the Unity as perhaps you'd like. They'd come in handy.
Or you can just tie your chairs on the outside and just kind of tie everything.
Like the Beverly Hillbillies.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could do it. So, but just go to rvlifestyle.com and search for cargo carriers, and you'll find our review of the top two that we think are out there. Jeff Switzer.
What's the average time I should drive a day?
Well, that's what
We
we
have
do and what we
stickers.
think is right.
What we say and what we do is very different.
Well, we're trying, though. We're getting better.
We try.
Why don't you give Jeff our 330 rule?
We call it the 330 rule. Drive 330 miles and stop, or stop at 330 so you can park in the daylight and look around a little bit wherever you are and just relax a little bit.
And something that we have really been trying to do is to stop every hour and a half, 2 hours, and walk around a little bit.
Nobody has any idea how hard it is to make you stop. I think
I
they
know.
do. If they know you, they know. Get behind that wheel and drive. But I tend to be a little that way
You
too.
are just as much as I am.
probably
But,
just. But I
but
keep-
yeah, and it's good for the dog, and it's good for us.
Good for you.
We always
Get out and walk.
have things we got to see, or we got to be there at a certain time, even much of it because we're doing video as we go. But 330 rule is a noble goal to have.
It is
Jeff.
a noble goal. And some people have the 220? We've never done
Yeah,
that.
we've never done that. Yeah.
If you have lots of time.
330. If you're type A like us, 330 is hard to do, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Road trip buddy. He used to always be first on our up there, but look, he's not there.
My birthday is this summer if you want to pick me up.
Road trip buddy has been saying that for a couple of years now. He'd jump on and say, pick me up. And he used to ask us what we had for dinner all the time. So it's great. Great to see you on.
When
buddy.
is your birthday? If you
Yeah,
say
when
it's
is
your
your
birthday in the
birthday?
summer, you got to say when.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Dan Satow.
Saw and enjoyed your nachos video, but it got me to thinking, how do you deal with unplanned pests when camping? Mosquitoes, flies, infestation, ticks, mice, etc.
Yeah.
Flea.
We haven't had fleas. We haven't had problems with mice.
Knock on
We've had
wood.
problems with mosquitoes. And this trip, we had problems with ticks.
Yes.
3 of them.
Yeah.
2
he
on
had
me.
2. I had 1 on me.
I
I said, what is that in my back? Because I could feel this lump. And he said, a tick. Well, you know how long it took him to find our tool? We carry
30
a little
seconds.
tool
I know right
that
what it
is
is.
a tick remover. It took forever.
It did not. It took me.
And then I said,
no, come on now.
Okay,
They're gonna,
okay, you got the tick
30
remover.
seconds.
And
it
then
took
I
me.
said, put on your glasses. This is the first tick that I know that I've had. He said he could get it. So he
I
did
did.
his surgery, and I felt back. I said, something's still there. If you know anything about ticks, the head is the important part. I said, put on my glasses, and then he got it all out.
That's the
So,
important thing that they need
yeah.
to know, that I got it all out.
You got it all out, but you had to listen to a lot of squawking.
Well, they're not any fun. The first one we got was somewhere on the Natchez Trace as we got back in from going on a hike, and
Yeah, you had some on your slacks.
I had on my jeans. I had one. Oh, look at that! I picked it. Oh, that's a tick. I threw it outside, and then the other day I looked and I had one right on my arm, right there, and I just was able to pull it off. It had jumped in. It had gone inside, but I got him out. And the one on Jen was burrowed in a little bit more, and I had to use that little tick removal tool. That's also on our gear page, by the way.
And Bo is a tick magnet.
Yeah. Oh, last Sunday night, so you want to tell them about Bo went feral on us.
Bo went feral. Mike took him outside on a leash like he was supposed to be, and then Mike released him because he was supposed to jump inside the rig. Well,
he always did that before.
You know, it was adventure time in the woods. I mean, we were in the middle of nowhere. He took off and would not come back. Mike had a light on his head, and Mike said he could see his eyes every now and then.
Just glowing.
And Mike
out
said
there
he passed Mike. He ran past Mike a couple of times, like, yeah, Dad, later. And we could hear him leaping and bounding and running through the bush, and he was making all this noise, and he'd be over here, he'd be over there. There were great big hills, you know, and then we didn't hear anything, and we were worried about him because there were copperheads, rattlesnakes. I mean, there's ticks, poison ivy, coyotes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these dangers out there. And anyway, finally, after I think it was 20 minutes, I said, Bo, you want a drink? He came home.
He was, so he went
He got
feral for a
thirsty,
while.
yeah.
But you know, I always carry tick removal tools, and there's a bunch of them on the market. The one I have, it's on our gear page that we carry. It's like a little key. You could actually even put on your keychain, and it's just you kind of just slide it across the tick, and it'll pull it right off. And then we learned another tip from our son, Jeff, put Vaseline.
He said he was going to try it. They live on the western side of the state of Michigan, and they have so many ticks where he lives.
And we'll see if we can get him to give his report on it. But he saw someplace if you put Vaseline on the tick can't breathe and it'll pull out.
It'll just drop off, he said.
Drop off, yeah.
And
then it'll come back. It'll drop off and come back at you. Yeah.
You could always get a match. No, I guess that's what they said with bloodsuckers.
Yeah. Mosquitoes, keep the windows closed.
And get some kind of bug zapper.
Love their name, Retirement Rookies.
Okay, they are total RV newbies, very interested in the LTV. Can you please tell us about how things go when using the air conditioner when not hooked up to shore power? If you can't use a generator at night.
Well, you don't. You don't.
You're going to get hot.
You're going to get
really hot. Depends on where you are.
Now, you know, there is a device called a soft start. And again, rvlifestyle.com, our blog, new content every day on that blog. I hope you guys go to it every day and read the new stuff. We just did a story last week, Soft Start RV is what it's called. Soft Start RV. And there's a link there. And you can actually get it cheaper from us than you can through Amazon using our link. But it will let your RV air conditioner start off without taking that huge 30 amp drain, that spike. It sort of soft starts it. And that's very helpful to put in. But the misconception is that you can run an air conditioner off batteries all night long, and you cannot, unless you have 15 batteries, 15 lithium batteries. And a huge 3,000 watt inverter, which few people have. I think the standard on LTV now is 2,000 watt inverters. We have two 100 amp lithium batteries. I do not run my air conditioner off those. I can run it with the generator. And typically what we would do if it's really, really hot is before we go to bed, we'll run the air conditioner we'll turn on the generator, assuming we're boondocking, we'll turn on the generator and we'll run the air conditioner for an hour, and that'll get all the humidity up and it'll really dramatically cool it. And then we will go to sleep. We'll invariably, if it's really hot, wake up and then we will open all the windows in our fan, our fantastic fan, and we let that run, and it keeps us surprisingly cool.
And you only open the windows a little bit, about an inch or so, when you have that ceiling fan on, so that it sucks.
Yeah, don't open them like wide. You want it narrow.
It works better if you don't open them that wide. And we're amazed at, we love that fan.
Yeah, that fan we use all the time. And, you know, if you're plugged into shore power at a campground, you can run your air conditioner, and that's fine. If you don't, they're very noisy inside the RV.
They are.
Now, we've looked at, I can't think of the name of it, but there's a couple of high-end, Advanced RV in Willoughby, Ohio, sells a really good antenna, or good air conditioner.
That's quiet.
It's very quiet. It costs about $4,000 to get it put in, but it'll replace the ones you have, and it is so quiet. We can even do like our audio sound bites and stand-ups inside with the air conditioning on. It's pretty noisy when we do them with our current air conditioning on.
I wonder if you order, I guess a mass producer isn't going to fool around.
No, you have to do it aftermarket. You have to put it on. But so there's solutions there. But on battery power, you're not going to run your air conditioner very long. Yeah, they just are a huge power.
And it depends on how humid it is.
Yep, it does. That's a big part of it. APG show.
I just ordered my LTV Unity 24 CB
Center bed.
A couple of weeks ago with the optional leveling jacks. Do you recommend snap pads?
I do. And on the Unity, you'll have plenty of space. And that takes me to my screw up last week. So let me just get it out of the way, because you're all going to know I'm going to be at the Equalizer automatic leveling factory in Elkhart in 2 weeks. And the reason I'm going to be there, I should show you a picture of it, is as we were leaving Mousetail Landing State Park in mid-Tennessee last week.
I was taking Bo for a walk, and you were on your own.
I was on my own. I was actually going to take it and dump at the
you were
dump,
on a mission.
You know, the Blackwater dump.
You saw where you wanted to go.
Saw where I wanted to go. Thank you for helping. And I cranked the wheel, and what I didn't see is a big log about big,
8 by 8 inch square,
that was dividing the
marker,
the area where you park your RV.
And it was this way, and
I didn't realize it went out that far, and so I went right over it
and made the most horrendous noise.
And it ripped the passenger side front leveler completely off. Just pulled it right off the frame. It tore up the bar that connects the front passenger. They're all listening. The men are going, "What a fool." I know I'm a fool. I know. Do not tell me. Check your surroundings. I know this. That's what happens. You tell somebody that and they say, "Oh, well, I always do this." Duh.
You were in the box.
I was in the box. I mean, it's all my fault. So it tore that off. It bent that bar, and it partially tore off the front passenger. So here we are in the middle of nowhere. I don't have tools for that.
Oh, but when he's stuck, I go around and I look at this and go, wow. You know, and he's saying, "What do I do? Where do I turn?" And
I thought it was just something. I said, "What's behind me?" You know, I'm going to back it up. And she's trying to go, no, and she's making all this
he's
noise.
He's sitting on top of this hunk of wood, and I'm like, "I'm going to go get." There's a couple guys down there. I think I need to go get one of them to tell him how to back up, because I have no idea whether
it was.
I don't think he should go forward, but if he goes backwards, I mean, he is suspended.
So there I am in the middle of nowhere. I mean,
and he's like, "Tell me what to do."
Yeah, back up, telling what to do. I couldn't tell. Yeah. So I thought he said, "Get out and look." And,
I don't know what to tell.
But I didn't know until actually I backed up a little bit and got off that thing that had ripped him off. So we had to. How do you fix something like that? I didn't have the tools.
This is where we are so good. We can help them when they mess up.
This is right. We do this so if it happens to you, here's what you do.
He only did this so that we can help you out.
Yes, that's right. I think they'll believe that.
No,
I don't think so either. So I got on the phone and I just searched mobile RV near me, mobile RV repair near me. And a guy he was in Jackson, Tennessee, which is about a 45-minute drive away. Bob. And it's called Lightning Fast RV Repair. If you're ever going to go there, you call that guy. This guy showed up and he worked really hard. He got them off.
Jacked up the rig.
He bought his own jack. I didn't have the tools to get it. He knew exactly what he was doing. You had to plug the hydraulic hoses from the thing. Then because you had broken the connection, there were no front levelers and it's all tied together. We had to tie up the rear so they wouldn't drift down. and he did that. And we drove home just with no problem at all.
Oh, I can't imagine if we hadn't been. We would still probably be there. I
Yeah.
mean, we are.
Bo would have been happy. Bo
Yeah,
liked
Bo
it.
would have loved it. But he was such a hardworking, honest man.
I just can't speak highly enough. And we have found that everywhere we've gone in the country where we've called, when we've had an issue and we've called for mobile RV repair, these guys are great. They've all worked at shops and they know all the systems. Bob was just telling us he's going up to get trained on some system up in Indiana in a week or two. But just a big shout out to him. Lightning RV service, and works so hard. And so that's my thing. But it's a great lesson to always check your surroundings. And we'll see. Hopefully we'll get him back on because we really do like those levelers.
Do we tell his story about other YouTubers? What they did?
Oh yeah. He asked what we did. I had my camera and I was doing some editing as we were waiting for him to come out. And we told him, he says, yeah, I met one other YouTuber and he runs kind of a YouTube fix-it channel. And he says he had a problem with his awning. He couldn't get it fixed. So he called me and I got up and I fixed it. And then this guy did the video and says, I fixed my awning. And it was Bob did it. Not me. I give Bob full credit. I have a picture of him and I'm sure I'll write about this as we take the RV in and we take it back to Equalizer and we'll probably talk a little bit more about
This
it.
is why Road Trek had us drive their test
Yeah,
vehicles.
road trip. We were breaking every road trek they gave us.
They wanted us to drive it because if we couldn't break it, nobody could break it.
Yep. And that was for many years we drove road treks. But so now we've got a lesson on that. Now, I hope you don't ask me any more about it. And please, those of you who are rather melancholy detail people, don't tell me what I should have done. I know what I should have done, but we did get it fixed, and I'm not talking anymore about it. Anthony D. Thomas Photography.
All right. Hello from High Point, North Carolina. Love your channel. Just purchased 2022.
Integra. Oh my gosh, those are really sweet rigs. Integra Esteems.
Wow.
Congratulations, Anthony. That is awesome. I gather you take photographs, and what a great way to get around and see awesome places with your own RV. So thank you for the kind words. We really.
Now, how big is the Integra?
It's 22 feet.
Oh, 22. Okay.
Lindsay Rollins.
You got a newbie?
Wait a minute, is that big? He might have a bigger one. He might be a 22 model year. I think it's a 22 footer. Lindsay Rollins.
I used the automatic levelers for the first time. The front wheels came off the ground by an inch. I was tempted to just skip the leveling. Do you think the refrig would still work?
Yes, because it's
we
level.
Can help you out with that one too.
We can help you out with that too. Yes, because the RV's level now. Yes, your front wheels might be off the ground, and that's okay. We have talked to the folks at Equalizer. I got them even on tape saying it. Yes, it's not going to stress the frame out if you have one of the wheels up. It's not going to hurt you if they're completely off the ground and you're on your jacks. It's okay. I don't like to have. I wouldn't want all four of them, but I've had. I didn't know this. We were in Pennsylvania and we had one of them that was up, and I said, "Oh, we can't stay in it." And so we didn't put out our slide. We just slept in the. It was so cramped.
Sofas, beds, because we didn't. We were just worried about it.
We didn't, and it was. It always happens on a Sunday, right? Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, we didn't have anybody to call, so we didn't put out the slide.
But we've checked. I've asked the Mercedes people if we could do that, and they told me, they assured me the frame can handle that. And I asked the, in our case, the Equalizer leveler people, and they said it's fine. So. Your refrigerator is going to work fine because your RV's level. It's just even though that wheel's up off the ground.
But because I'm the melancholy in our group.
I don't think it looks good.
If it's off the ground, if I had a little piece of wood to stick under there, I
would. Yeah. We've done that before. We did that in Michiana last fall.
And last summer, when we were at that campground where it was really.
I just don't think it looks
even.
Good. But,
they had all kinds of. They knew it wasn't even, and they had all these big pieces of wood that you could stick under your wheels.
But. In a pinch, don't worry about it. Won't hurt anything. Just looks a little weird.
Yeah, it does.
$4.99 super chat from Ivan Josie's RV Journey. Thank you guys. We appreciate that. That's from YouTube. A $4.99 super chat.
Okay, we want to capture our cross country trip. We have a GoPro camera, an iPhone. Can you share how to use each item to capture video for our kids?
Do you have a dash cam? Get a dash cam because that will let you have all sorts of fun showing the route. We use dash cams all the time in ours. We actually have a dash cam, and the one we got is a high-end dash cam from Blackview, and it has both a front-facing dash cam and then it has a back one that faces us, and it has audio. It's kind of funny. I was previewing the audio for this piece that we're editing, on the Natio Straits, and I can hear us talking all the time. I got to turn the mic off because it can be embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, Chris, if you're listening,
Chris,
delete all that audio.
Don't blackmail us.
Don't
Chris.
blackmail us. So that audio is captured. Chris edited the current one. I'll be doing the next one. We kind of go back and forth. So, GoPro camera.
I really mess up sometimes.
An iPhone is great to do it. And I would urge you to get a dash cam. You might want to get a drone. You might want to learn how to get a drone, how to get a drone license.
Yeah, I got it.
It takes you a long time. So if you're going to do this pretty quick, you won't have time to get your drone license. But
and now those cameras that records over. So if you want to
the dash cam, ours does, yeah. Most of them do. They'll loop it. And the key is if you get a dash cam, get one with a big enough memory. I just upped mine to 254 gigabytes, I think. And it will record like 12 hours a day of driving for several days. So
if they have something that they really want that evening, they need to get it off there and put it someplace safe so that they don't record over it.
It's on a little mini SD card. I lost one of those cards last fall.
Because they're so itty bitty.
Because when you push it in, it clicks in, and then when you push it out, it whoosh. Did that last fall, and it's in the Unity.
Can't find it.
It's in the Unity that we used to have somewhere. So. But get a dash cam, and then you'll be fine with the iPhone, and you're fine with the GoPro. GoPro is great to take around. William Robbins.
Okay. Have you ever weighed your rear twin bed fully loaded? Each axle separately or each wheel position? If so, what were the weights?
I have not done it fully loaded. I was going to actually a month or so ago. We saw a cat scale, but there were about 10 big trucks in line in front of me, and I wasn't going to spend the time doing it. So
and you don't want to slow those truckers down. They work hard enough. They have enough aggravation.
I have great respect for truckers.
Yeah.
So I've not done it. I'd love to go do it. In fact, I want to do a video on it so other people can do the same thing. And I've got one that's about 25, 30 miles from me here. And if I pick the right time, I'll try and go out and do it.
We did find one RV. Remember at Advanced RV, they had the built.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they charge.
Who can afford?
They sell it for $380,000, but they have one that'll measure it for you.
Money is not an object.
Yeah. If money's not an object, you can get it built into your RV.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool though, to have it all built in.
But you can do it for free or $5. Some places charge a CAT scale, CAT, at most truck stops, big truck stops. Bob Keefe.
Okay, you've inspired us to get a Class B RV, a Coachman Beyond, 22-foot, lithium on the Ford Transit, and looking forward to starting the RV life.
And van life, yeah. Excellent. We love the Beyond. We like Coachman. We've gone to their factory. There's a video that we've done on our YouTube channel on how they build it. And you can actually watch the process. Nick and his crew there at Coachman are really class people. Nick will go bend over backwards any problems you'll have, and you will love that Beyond. And if you see Nick, tell him hi from us and tell him we said good things about him.
And the Class Bs are easier to drive. They're a little bit smaller for me.
For you?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go back to a B.
No, you won't go back.
Neil Blair.
Okay, do you use a Rain-X type product on your windshield?
We do. We fill up the windshield washer with that. It's great. Keeps streaking away. We got a new bug. Oh, it's out in the other
downstairs.
Room. We got a new bug removal tool. Do you want me to wash my RV and do a demo on that? Let us know in the comments.
He's going to wash his RV. I'll have to take a video of that. Sorry.
The abuse I have to go through. But if you'd like us to do that, Jennifer will wash the RV for you, and I'll take a video of her showing you this new product that's supposed to be, really awesome for getting the bugs off. We've before used those dryer sheets that you talk about.
Yes.
And they're pretty good. We're kind of curious on this. We do have some bug splatter from this.
Somebody sent us something to test.
Rain-X helps a little bit with keeping them from gunking up your windshield, and it avoids streaks. It makes it nice at night. It's a great product that we really recommend.
We would recommend that.
Put it in your washer fluid reservoir. Tony Camp Party of 4.
I'm looking to adding lithium and solar to our RV. Do you recommend anyone in the Michigan area who installs these components? Good videos, guys.
Yeah, I do. I recommend Holland Motorhomes over in Western Michigan, Holland. They have done a number of lithium and solar hookups for people. Got to get an appointment. It's very busy these times at this time of year, but they just do a first rate. I'm going to have them do. They do all of my stuff. I really like Kyle there. He kind of works on ours, but they've got Brent and a bunch of really good folks there. Holland Motorhomes. There was a guy in the northern Detroit suburbs, Macomb County, that I used, and I was very impressed with him, but he no longer is a mobile tech. So
he got so busy.
M53 RV Repairs. The name
he doesn't have time to drive anymore.
So he's got a building and he'll do some work there. But he might be able to do it. M53 Mobile Repair in Macomb County, Michigan. First choice, I would suggest you try to get an appointment at Holland Motorhomes. They'll do us a great job. Melanie Carlisle.
What's for dinner? Sending love from Georgia. Dinner was easy tonight. We had a beautiful salad and some homemade chicken noodle soup. And now I'll make it sound good. We had strawberries and blueberries with a little ice cream.
Yes. And a little whipped cream.
Yeah.
I should tell you all that. No, I won't tell them all. No. Well, I noticed the video. I was like really puffy in this last video. I mean, it's living on the road. So I'm back trying to get healthy. So don't anybody, I know you're all saying, whoa, what happened to him? She looks great. One guy said that on YouTube. He says, Mike, you look really tired in the video, but your wife, she always looks great. Well, she does, but I know. I'm working on it.
Salt.
I share
sugar,
everything with you guys.
fat.
So I'll tell you, salt, sugar, and fat. Those are not our friends.
I mean, when you get really hungry and you buy that food that's fast, I'm so bad. When I'm hungry, I want food and I want it now.
Well, you can eat it.
I
should
can't.
never.
It doesn't make me feel good.
But we've been eating, like when you get hungry on the road, we found like an apple. This sliced apple is so good. It gives you energy. It tastes good. Bill Smith.
Okay, my friend just bought a new camper, but they said they didn't want it to buy a new one since KOA does not allow any campers more than 10 years old. Is this true, or is it a salesman thing?
No,
I don't know.
It's true in many parks that they don't want you driving something 10 years old. Look, there's a really big problem out there with homelessness and people, and we really are noticing it this year more than ever before, with homelessness and people, marginal people, who are right on the margin of life with no income, who are living out of their cars full time. That's their home. Or they're sleeping out in hammocks out in the open air, or they have really old rat trap RVs. Well,
like with a boarded up window.
Those people are not going to be at a KOA, and nor are they going to be at any of these hoity-toity RV parks that say, yes, you can't come in on anything other than 10 years old. So I think there's a lot of overreaction to that.
We'll have to check with KOA. I don't know.
And I don't think that that's the case at all. Maybe it is. I've never heard of that from KOA. They're one of our go-to spots. We'll always choose a KOA when we want to, empty the tanks and wash some clothes. We find that there's a standard of excellence that's pretty general of all KOAs. But I've not heard that KOA has that policy. A number of other RV parks, and there's some parks that have a policy of nothing, no Class Bs, and no Class Cs, only Class As.
Yeah.
So, but those are few and far between. Most will get you in fine.
We camped in a really luxurious place with our little bee.
Yeah, we have to ones that no A, no Bs.
They put us by the garbage.
They put us by the garbage. But in your case, Bill, I suspect that's salesman hype, because I don't think it's not Campgrounds of America policy. Maybe it is. If it is, if somebody knows for sure, don't say your friend told it. But if you know absolutely for sure, post it here. But we've not found that to be the case. And there are a lot of people with older RVs that are perfectly maintained. They look great. So, I wouldn't worry about it. James Harris.
On your last Unity, if you are stopping at an overnight stop, but not appropriate for RVs to pull out the full slides out, could you technically run slide about 2 inches out and still use the bed?
No, No, not really. I don't think you could. The bed,
No,
maybe you could.
I don't know.
I
we never did that.
I don't think I would try that, but if you have one, try it in your driveway, but I don't think so. There's only one slide in the Unity that we had, and it's only a
2
small
feet.
slide. It's like 2 feet. And we've been at a Cracker Barrel and we've put it out. We've always tried to stay at the end of one of the parking spaces, and we've never had a problem with anybody saying, get that slide in. Some RVs, you have to have the slide in to get access to the refrigerator because there's no space in between. So, but in our Unity, it's only one slide. That one time I told you about when I didn't know about the wheels, and we both slept without the slide. Jen slept on the front sofa that doubles as the Murphy bed comes down and covers it. But we didn't have the Murphy bed because the slide didn't go up. So she slept on the sofa there, and I slept in the one in the back, and we did fine.
I think more of an issue is with your levelers. You put the pad on our levelers
Snap
so
pads.
that you don't destroy parking lots. When people put levelers down,
Oh, somebody asked about snap pads. Yeah, we didn't say. We said they're good, but yeah, they don't. Like on a really hot day, they distribute the weight that's on that jack much better. Whereas some of the other pads, they're either round or they're octagonal and they can kind of damage the asphalt.
I mean, the one thing we don't want to do is burn bridges by destroying parking lots.
So that's one of the reasons there might be a no slide rule at like a Walmart parking lot. But I've seen them. I don't think people have a problem with them. All right. Thank you, James, for that question. Well, this has gone pretty fast. We have really enjoyed this. Thank you, Donna Downey, for a $19.99 super chat over on YouTube. And she just wanted to say thanks for all you do to create such great content. Isn't that sweet?
Yes,
Thank you,
that
Donna.
is very
That
sweet.
really is touching to us when you say that. And there's a super chat from Don Satow.
And has your doctor ever seen you eat something in your video and given you grief about it? Like the super smash burger you ate in the last video.
That was no.
Our current doctor is too busy.
Yeah,
he's very, very busy.
But I'm not even sure he knows what an RV is.
Our last doctor was a really good friend.
Yeah, he was a friend, and he would be giving me
and he would just say, "Why do you yo-yo?"
Yeah, well, because there's smash burgers out there in the world. Yeah, it was.
And we always video Mike because I don't want to be videoed eating.
That smash burger wasn't. It was the best burger in America, but I don't know if I'd order it again. It was too smoky for me. It was very smoky. They had an interesting sourdough bun on it, and that was good. But no, he has not seen it done.
No,
Catherine Elizabeth.
Is there a maximum wind in which you're willing to drive? We just drove our LTV Unity MB through a day of 36 to 38 mile per hour wind, and it was rough.
That's always tough, particularly if the wind is hitting you sideways. But that's about as far as I would go. I would maybe make it a short day and just find a nice place to stay and chill out, stream a movie or something.
If you're having trouble, slow down or stop.
And, if you're on an interstate, it's always a little rougher at that. So if you can get off on a 2-lane road, you can handle the winds usually a little better because there's more things breaking them up. You're closer to the trees and things.
If you want adventure, drive just 4 wheels. But we had before the
dualies,
first time I drove a Class B, and we were out west, and you had me drive, and I was squealing from one exit to the next because it was so windy.
I think that's what you did. One exit you went.
I went one exit, and I was making noise the whole time because the trucks were making me sway, and it was just
because they had only 2 rear wheels on it.
Yeah, so the 4 wheels are awesome.
But that's a pretty stiff wind, Catherine, for hour after hour, and you're fighting it all the time. We noticed it in Ohio, driving really from Dayton up to Toledo. It's very, very windy there pretty much all the time. Mm-hmm. And we find that sometimes. I remember one time we were driving, and what the heck? And I looked in a power line, maybe half mile ahead. You could just see it right across the road. So, all right. Question.
Christina. Okay, Christina asks, have you experienced houseless folks who travel 100% as nomads versus homeless?
Yeah, I just did a story on one guy who, in fact, they don't call it homeless. They call it home free.
He did.
And if you go look on the blog, he's traveling across the country on an e-bike. He's biking across the country, and he's towing a small little trailer with 2 solar panels. His name is Roger Golden, and there's a whole video and a post on him. I just put it up last week. But Roger's also a writer, and so I'm going to have him help with some of our blog content and as he travels. So he's a good guy.
The people you meet at the dog park.
There are all sorts of people who are houseless. All full-timers are usually houseless. But there are also people they're right on the margins of surviving. They have no income. They take advantage of every free place they can stay, and they have no sustainable income. Their vehicles are in disrepair. We ran into more of that this last trip than I have ever seen before. Maybe because we were staying in some of the free national park, but those park campgrounds are not for homeless people who are not RVers for recreation. They're RVers in the lightest sense of the word, because that's the only place they can survive, and they really can't stay in one area too long. It's a tough problem. It's a big social problem. It's resulting in a lot of places being closed to boondocking, these homeless encampments, and many of our state and federal and land. They've been just shutting them down because more and more of them come. They leave trash and debris and human waste. They don't have proper facilities in their cars to handle their waste. This is a real issue that most people are afraid to talk about because, don't have compassion on the homeless. Well, there's a difference between homeless and campers and recreation campers. And it's a big issue. So I don't want to get into politics or any of that stuff, but I'm just throwing it out there so you are aware when you encounter it yourself. We've noticed it at Cracker Barrels a couple of times too. Paul Gonell.
The Winnebago's Volta system seems pretty impressive. Do you think this will become more common industry-wide?
Volta is a pretty cool system. It's not just for Winnebago. Holland Motorhomes, the company I just told you about, the guy who asked where he could get his system installed, they've done a number of Volta installations. Volta is a very high-end lithium battery manufacturer, and like Battleborn and some of the other aftermarket lithium suppliers, they tend to really have a whole integrated approach with your solar controller, your inverter, Bluetooth controls between them all. Really nice systems, and Volta is really a top company. I would think. So is Lithionics is another one based out of Florida. Roseanne Corbin.
Where can I learn how to use the gears in my RV when I drive in the mountains?
You got to go back to the University of Google and just search gearing in the mountains, something like that. Now, we learned another lesson about that early on. First year we had an RV. I read, trip. When you're going down a steep incline, use your motor.
Somebody told you.
Use your motor, drop down a couple of gears, and the engine will work harder. It will slow you, and so you don't burn out your brakes. Well, that's a good thing to do a little bit, but I did one.
He was having too much fun.
I did another. Whoa!
No,
look at that.
Cool. I said, why would they put brakes in the vehicle?
And then, well, because they,
I know,
going down the hill, you don't want to burn them out. So I overdid it, and I blew a turbo something or other on it.
And then we learned about limp home mode.
Yeah, on a diesel. That was limp home mode. That's a hard thing to say. Everybody say it with me. Limp home mode. And that's the first time I saw the benefit of our YouTube group, our RV lifestyle group on Facebook. So this was like 10 years ago. Yep. And I said, help, this thing won't go any more than 20 miles an hour. I'm in the Black Hills of South Dakota. How do I get out of here? And guys, it was like 10 seconds later, I hit that, and he said, turn off the engine and restart, and it should be okay. And I did, and it was. So it helps. But just Google it, and you'll see. It's pretty easy. Truckers do it all the time. Just don't go to as low as a gear as you can when you're going straight down. Ron, just digging life.
And taking our Class C out, first time for the trip of the first of the year for 2 weeks. Can't wait.
Oh, I bet you can't. I asked our supporters on our Facebook group today where their next trip was. It was really fun reading all the responses, and a bunch of you are staying a little closer to home, still waiting to see how things shake up with COVID. Others have some pretty long, ambitious trips planned. A couple of you are supporters. You don't even have your RV yet, but you're waiting to get it. And so congratulations, Ron. I know what it's like. You're going to enjoy it. Go close in the first trip, and then, it sounds like you're a veteran, so you know what you're doing. And just have a great time. Post some pictures on the Facebook group. We love to see where everybody is. James Harris.
Okay, does the alternator in the Unity Mercedes chassis charge the house batteries while driving?
It does, as it does in the Wonder, and as it does on most RVs. Now, most of the RVs built today, the alternator will charge your house batteries. So, you arrive a couple hours, your batteries are fully charged. And that's another, great thing to have. So it works good. All right. We're running out of time. This was a fast one. Want to remind you a couple of things. The RV podcast. If we didn't answer a question that you'd like us to really spend some time on and give you a longer answer, call that number right there. That's our podcast voicemail. And we will put you on this week's podcast or next week, depending on how many messages we get. And if you mess up, just start saying it again. I'll edit it so you sound coherent. You don't have to worry about that. But I'd love to get your questions. We love when we do the podcast. It comes out every Wednesday. If you don't know about us, look it up. It's on all the apps. RV Podcast is the name of it. Just the RV Podcast. And please subscribe to that. Listen to it. It comes out every Wednesday. And that's the number for you to phone in questions. And we do love to feature your questions, and then we'll answer them a little longer. So please do that. Also, I don't know if you're noticing, this is one of our new merch designs, Outdoors. Can you see how cool that is? And that comes in sweatshirts and T-shirts and all sorts of things.
And I'm going to be in trouble because I'm not wearing any of the special shirts.
Oh, it's still warm.
Yeah.
So anyway, we love to get your pictures on that. We'll put it up on social media, but check out our new merch designs. And there's the address, rvlifestyle.com/go shopping. And once more, we invite you to become a supporting member. One of the things supporting members do, either on Facebook or on YouTube, it's just join and become a member. On Facebook, it's our supporters group. And when you join, you can get right through there. You get a little more access to us, and a little more response from us when you have a question for us. And then we're doing a meetup. We do gatherings and meetups, and our first one is going to be October 18th through the 21st. It's almost sold out. So if you're thinking about that, that's a meetup on the Mississippi. You gotta get a ticket in the next few days. So it's there. So that's all we got. Let's have Phyllis come back in and tell us how it all went. Did we miss too many questions tonight?
No, we did pretty good. But if we missed the question, especially on Facebook, we'll go back and try and answer it there. And just lots of conversation between everyone talking about Nomadland.
The movie. Yes. Yeah. Did you see the movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either, but I read enough of it to know that it's pretty dark. And there's a fringe of RVers who live that cheap, living off, free, cheap. And, that's not the way we RV. And maybe some people like that. And that's fine, but everything I read is pretty dark. And the real people who are out there trying to live as minimalist as possible didn't like the movie. So anyway,
I guess we better watch the movie.
I don't want to watch it. I have enough depression in my life. I got to fix my equalizer jacks, for crying out loud. Hey, Phyllis, thank you for running Herd tonight. We appreciate it. We'll see you during the week. Phyllis Kerr. And also over on YouTube, Chris Cowley, who has been doing the same thing on YouTube. Thank you, Chris. But most of all, we want to thank all of you who come and join us here every night. We love to just check in and talk to everybody. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah.
This has lifted our spirits, and I hope we've lifted your spirits.
Yep.
With community.
Please do us a favor. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're up to 133,000 subscribers. We just went to 133 tonight. Yay. Woo-hoo. So please subscribe to that if you will. And when you see our posts on rvlifestyle.com, if you'd share those with your friends and share them in social media, we have new content every day there. The podcast, part 3 of our Natchez Trace exploration, 5-part series, will be next Saturday, the video.
I'm worried sick about it.
That's because Jennifer
all me.
is the tour guide on that one. And we're in Tupelo, Mississippi, and that's the home of
Elvis.
the king of rock and roll. Plus, I had some pretty good times there, too, after we did the Elvis tour. You'll have fun with that. So look for that next Saturday. To all of you, thank you so much. God bless you. Have an awesome week. And we'll see you back here next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern for Ask Us Anything.